I planned my excursion very carefully. I might as well not have bothered. So those clouds out there over the distant mountains have got some really nice colours in. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again. So today I planned my excursion very carefully. I looked at the weather forecast, I looked at where there were supposed to be clouds, I looked at what the wind was doing, I looked at the wind direction, and I picked this location. And I might as well not have bothered. The cloud cover is nowhere near what was expected here. The wind, although it is pretty breezy, it's not as strong as forecast, and I think it's in a slightly different direction. So what I was hoping for was some nice dramatic skies and some nice dramatic breaking waves, and I just haven't got that. Now it is windy, and I'm hoping you can hear me okay, and I have checked to make sure that the wind muff is securely on and isn't going to blow away again. So well, when conditions don't work out the way you expect, you've got a couple of choices. You can either moan about it, which I like to do, or you can get on and find something else. So I have been looking around here, around these rocks. It's a beautiful rocky bit of shoreline, and over in the background we've got the mountains and the skyline of San Juan and El Campello, and I'm hoping to find a composition or two or three using these rocks as the foreground and that in the distance as the background, and there is some quite nice clouds up there. We are about 20 minutes from sunset, but we're already losing light on the foreground, so I'm not sure it's going to be a case of hanging around too late tonight. We'll have to see. Okay, so I've got a composition set up here, and what I'm using is this rocky section heading out here as foreground interest and a lead-in line. Then I've got the sea in the background, we've got mountains, but we've also got basically the skyline of San Juan, El Campello, possibly a bit of Villa Hyosa. No, Villa Hyosa's further over that way, and then a little bit of cloud in the sky. I've got 16 to 35 lens on, and I'm at 16mm. I've got a 2-stop hard-edged ND grad to darken the sky, because we've already lost light off of the foreground because the sun's disappearing over there. I've got a circular polarizer on just to take a little bit of glare out of the water and also to add a bit more exposure time, and then a 6-stop ND filter, so that's the little stopper, and at f11 that's giving me a 15-second exposure, which is smoothing things out quite nicely. And what I'm going to do is drop the ISO down to the low 1 setting and go for a 30-second as well, see which looks better. Okay, so I got that shot, which was actually just over there, looking across that way. Now I've come across here, kind of to the edge of this rocky bit, and I'm using the edge of this rocky bit leading the eye in. Now unfortunately it does cut out off the frame, which isn't ideal, but there's a nice bit of rock sticking out of the water over here, and then again we got the background of the mountains and the skyline of the towns, and some clouds up in the sky. Still f11, still the ISO low 1 setting, and still 30 seconds. So hopefully that'll work. So this is not a new location for me. In fact, you may recognise up there behind me, somewhere, where is it? There. There's a lighthouse, and I've done some shots here before of that. But I think I've done enough of that lighthouse for the time being, so that's why I wanted to try something different. It's interesting, there's quite a lot of people about actually, wasn't expecting that. Okay, so it's getting later now, the sun's gone down a bit further, and I'm trying an even longer exposure. I'm going for a minute because the sun's gone down a bit further and the light's got less, and that's cooking right now. So those clouds out there over the distant mountains have got some really nice colours in. There's also some nice colours out that way as well. I might see if I can do something with in a second. At the minute I've got a composition set up. There's two kind of holes in the rocks here. That's the foreground, then a few more rocks, then the sea, then the distant coastline and mountains, and then those colourful clouds. I'm shooting at about 26mm. 6-stop ND filter, 2-stop hard-edged ND grad, just because I want to flatten the sea out, because it's not particularly appealing further out, and if I go lower down the composition isn't working. That's another 1 minute exposure, and then I'm really going to have to see if I can do something with this scene here, because we've got these clouds and they're reflected in the wet rocks here. I don't know. Okay, so we've got this nice cloud pattern out there, and it's reflected in the wet rocks down here. I tried to get lower down to take out the sea in the background, because it doesn't look very pretty or sort of choppy. But if I go lower down, the reflections just disappear. So I'm going for another long exposure, shooting at about 27mm, I guess. 2-stop hard-edged ND grad, and the 6-stop ND filter, that's the little stopper. And basically the horizon is right the way across the middle, because ideally I want the reflections of the clouds to mirror in the top. We'll see. 30 seconds. Yeah, that might work. That might work. We are now past sunset and the colours are going, we're losing the pinks and they're going into sort of the darker tones now. So I think it's probably soon going to be time to pack up. I'm going to hang on a few more minutes just to see, but I think it's all over. Okay, that's it. Colours are pretty much all gone now. There's still some colours kind of over this way, but nothing in the direction that I wanted to be shooting. Wasn't what I was expecting when I came out today, because the conditions were not as dramatic as I was thinking. But I have to say, that sky was really pretty. I think I got some nice foreground elements in, so I'm happy. I think I've got at least a couple of decent shots this afternoon. So I'm happy. I'm going to go home a happy bunny. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go home. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more of my stuff, don't forget about hitting subscribe, unless you're already a subscriber, in which case thank you very much. As always, I appreciate any likes or shares you'd care to give me, and of course I'd love to hear from you, so comments go down below. And as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. So until the next video, thank you very much. Bye.